Hey guys, double wide 6, and it's been raining for like 3 days here, and I got a starter I just replaced on a tractor. It was on a Kohler. It was a Gravely Pro Turn 152 commercial 0-turn, and what was happening is you'd go to start it and you'd hear click 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 from the solenoid, but the starter wouldn't start. And then the guy was saying, well, if I jump on the seat, if I do this, I do that, and then it would start, but then the next time it wouldn't start. So what I did is I checked off the key switch. The signal wire had 12 volts, and it was sending 12 volts to the solenoid, but it wasn't going through the solenoid completely. And when I pulled it off the tractor, I tried to bench test it, and you could see that the motor will turn very, very slow. So we'll start by taking apart this starter. I think first thing I want to do is just kind of mark where this thing was. Alright. That's a long one. Looks like that's a little bit smaller. It's a 7 metric. Just a little bolt. Alright, I haven't been inside one of these, but this is how you learn some stuff. And we don't have to worry about breaking anything. That looks like a lot of dirt in there. Looks like most of this is pulling apart. I don't know if I can. Okay, there's the brushes. So we'll take that out. Slip this guy out. And looks like we're just going to have to clean this stuff up. Everything else up there is probably alright. So a little brake cleaner here. Yeah, that was pretty dirty. And a little wire brush.
That should be good enough.
So this looks alright. You know, these starters don't cost that much anymore. They used to be a couple $100, and this is the Kohler starter. Looks a lot like the starter on my truck. So that plate's done, and now what we want to do is we want to clean this area up pretty good, and I'm going to get some sandpaper. This sandpaper is 220, and I'm just gonna kind of go through and try and get some of the garbage off of here. Put a little parts cleaner on the rag. It's got to be better than it was. Alright, now we're going to take a look at these brushes. We've got 4 brushes. They look like they're in pretty good shape, meaning there's plenty of length to them. And I think I want to try and just hit them with a file very lightly. So I have a round file, and just touching these. Now they'll wear in on their own, but I'm just trying to get any debris that would be stuck on there, like grease. Looked like there was mulch. That's kind of what on this back plate looked like. It had mulch in there. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I'll take this rag, just wipe these guys off. And I'm going to blow this thing off with compressed air. And we'll reassemble. So, yeah, you got some magnets in here that need to be cleaned off. I'm going to hit them with some compressed air as well. Looks pretty good. Alright, this little tube thing goes down, and we did mark this thing, so I'll try and get this back together. I'm gonna, while I got this apart, I'm gonna pull this down a little and put a little bit of oil in there. I use a mixture 50% acetone, 50% ATF right here in this can. So we'll put a little bit of that up here. And we'll slip this guy back in. There we go. And get this lined up. Here's the part number, in case you're curious. All right. So I'm going to line up our line that I marked. And I can see it's right there. Boom. And then looks like this rubber thing goes in. See if you guys are still there. That's where that goes. That goes in there like that. And then these brushes, I'm going to pick this thing up. Maybe I could do one side at a time. Looks like I got those two. Try this other side. There we go. It's definitely was binding a little bit there. I think that's how that goes. And now what we can do is line up our mark. I'm going to put a little tiny squirt of oil in there. And I have a mark right here. And I have a line right there, so I want to get them aligned. Here we go. I would say that's it. And it looks like those little screw holes are lined up. So we'll put those in, and then we'll go for the bigger ones. So I don't know if we'll find out if the problem was actually the starter or the solenoid. Now most starters on tractors, at least, the solenoid's not built into the starter like this one. Alright, so we have the starter side back together. We're going to work on the solenoid side, because you could have a problem on either side. My solenoid seems to be working, but we'll take a look at it anyhow, because I've never seen one of these opened up. And I'm just using a 5/32 socket. Alright, and I think once again I'll mark this. Okay. And right away I could see there's dirt in there. There we go. You can see that plunger. I don't think this is going to come apart anymore. I'll just pop these out. And we'll take a look at the inner workings. That seems to be moving free. When I hit this lever in here, that's what causes the gear to lift up. So when power goes to this plunger moves. Seems like it's in good shape. Yeah, I don't think that comes apart. Alright guys, so I went through, I cleaned out the plunger, and I want to show you guys how this actually mounts in here. So, if you take like a screwdriver, you can move this little lever all the way down. You want that in that down position. And then this little head on this thing is going to lock on top of this plastic arm in there. I know it's a little bit hard to see. Let me try and bring you down. Alright, you don't want to forget your gasket. So here's how this goes back together. Just getting this last screw out of here. So we'll put our gasket in place. Just like that. And then the plunger, you're going to have to depress it a little bit to get it in there and then let it extend. And there's like a little fork. You want to make sure that you get on top of the fork, and I just missed it. So we'll bring it back down. We'll try again. This might work better upside down. There we go. So now I'm locked on that fork, and that's the way that's got to go. And we'll line up our first screw. Alright. Alright. We'll see if this thing works. So, jumper wire goes from the impulse post up to there, and get our jumper cables. Ground, positive, ground, and this is our positive. So you can see how that's coming up nice, it's spinning nice. I think that's working. I think that's pretty good. It was running really slow when I took it out of the tractor, and like I said, I just put in a new one. Is you know, I don't want to send it out to a customer like that. But yeah, there's dirt built up in there, and that's what causes your problems. Now, if your solenoid stops switching completely, and then you have issues. This one, I thought the problem might be the solenoid, but it was actually clicking, so that makes me kind of assume that that was working, but the motor just wasn't making good contact. So there you go, guys. I'm Double Wide 6, and thanks for playing around with me tonight in the shop, working on a Kohler starter. So we learned a few things, I guess, and you'll have to stay tuned for my next video. So take care, guys, and be safe. We'll see you.